choosing the programming language that you actually want to use for your AI task or project is actually more incredibly important than you may ever understand. And this actually becomes more apparent as soon as you add more and more developers to a project and you're trying to all use it in unison without making more work for yourself and just getting further across the finishing line. And there's a few changes that have happened in the last year that not really many people are very clued up on. And it's actually because of LSPs. And what is an LSP? So an LSP, just looking at it, is language server protocol. So how does that language actually work under the hood? What's the syntax? And the main thing to know why LSPs are so important is you can use LSPs with AI tooling to understand if the code is even working before it's even run. And this is the most important thing. Because of AI coding, we're producing code at a faster rate than we've ever done before. So we need some kind of a quick feedback mechanism to the AI saying if this is good code or bad code. And LSP allows us to do that. And the second benefit with LSPs is the AI can actually link different functions to each other because of the LSP. The LSP knows where this one function is defined and how it's linked to another, so it can jump through the code a lot quicker than doing a group search on the full code base, just trying to find the next function. And worse, if you've got a function with the same name, your AI gets confused between two different functions, and then you're fighting it in the context to try make sure it's only thinking about the first function, not the irrelevant one. So LSPs help with this problem too. So this is a nice mechanism that, so when you're coding, it can tell, okay, there's an error, update this part until there is no errors, and we can be a bit more confident the code is going to work. All right, the next thing on top of LSPs is a type check. And I think this is quite important. Again, it's quick, it's simple, and you can be coding in TypeScript, Rust, other things like that. I'm going to refrain to keeping to TypeScript because it's just like the most commonly trained on language at the moment. And if you go look at some accuracies, especially from Anthropic, I think it was at 92%. TypeScript was coming at one prompting, where Python was 89%. So what does the TypeScript point do as well? It's that quick feedback mechanism. You'll write a bit of code and it will then, the LM will double check, hey, is this code even accurate? No, okay, we'll just do a type check. Okay, we messed up something in the code from 4 files back. We need to fix all of this, and then it fixes it. All right, and the last bit on this is the build or compile check. And I think this is why I really like these strong typed languages. You can further check that if the build works, you've got a lot more confident that the code's going to work. All right, and if all my ramblings doesn't really make all a lot of sense, but let's maybe take a step back and talk about how some other languages work. So let's use Python, for example. So when I was working as an engineer, this would be a common problem. We would scope large amounts of pipelines, and we would actually develop it quite rapidly. We were moving fast and we were making mistakes. And the problem is the code would work until a certain instance would happen, and then everything would break on production. And the reason why is if you scanned the code, you wouldn't really know, but there was like a type error. Essentially, the data coming in wasn't as it was expected, and we just weren't handling it correctly. And we'd have a fail on production. We'd have to do a quick fix and plug a few things and then repost it. And this was quite a common occurrence, but you would get used to it. And my big problem with that is you always catch bugs at runtime, and this is the worst thing you want. You don't really want to catch things at runtime. You want to catch them a bit before. And ways you can get around this is you can make maybe comprehensive tests, a lot more stringent code reviews, but again, it slows down that process. You're not iterating fast enough and posting. And in that scenario then, when I was the data engineer, we couldn't really afford to slow down. So we kind of just accepted the fact there are going to be some issues in production, and we would have to patch the data and rerun some pipelines and just fix it, ad hoc. Again, this is not for every business. Every business makes their own decisions. But this is kind of where AI coding comes in, because now you generate a lot more code at a lot faster rate. And you don't really want to take that approach I just mentioned, ship it to production, then trying to fix it, and then fixing things post ad hoc. It's just not great. The scale of magnitude of how AI can mess up is just too big. So I would definitely not recommend that approach. So then your only course of action is you need better tests before you ship to production. And Python, you can do certain things. There's certain libraries you can do TypeScript, enforce types if you're stringent enough, and then do some additional testing on top of that, and then write it through. But you'll find just the way I'm talking about that there's still a bit of friction there. You still have to add these tests manually. You still have to be quite diligent. And if you've worked with AI, you can understand it tries to take shortcuts. And we want to try and minimize that oversight every time if we miss something. So this is kind of where having a strongly typed language is so important, especially if it's trained on AI. So my recommendation right now is like TypeScript. Many of you might not like that recommendation, but from what I'm seeing in the wild right now, I think TypeScript's really good. And what I really like is this feedback mechanism. So I can give it the certain rules to follow, output the code, and then I can validate both with the type check and then a build check. And if I still want to do more, I can do actually testing on top of that to make sure everything works as expected. And that is a lot easier to write and produce with AI coding than using a dynamically typed language. Main thing is if you can also use a typed language, but keep it very modular and small, especially for the different components. When building with AI, you can get a lot more leverage and a lot faster. All right, so hopefully in this video, you understood how important types are, especially for AI coding, and having all these additional checks can actually save you a lot of pain in the long term rather than the short term, especially if you're trying to use this with multiple developers or even multiple AI coding agents if you really wish, and having these right checks in place to stop this pain from, affecting you in production rather. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.